And welcome everyone back to round 3 of our video game challenge here at Second Server Place in Peak Riva, California. I am Mrs. Coronel here, unfortunately not joined by Arnie Wolf this time around, but we have round 3 between our lovely trainers Gina, Garavalia, and Felix de la Riva, and both of them are going to be completing to hopefully get their first win of the tournament, as I believe both players are sadly at 0-2, so one of these trainers will leave with the win. If I'm wrong about that, then one of these trainers will just leave with the win nonetheless. Here we go with these two teams that we're going to be seeing here. Gina Garavalia is going to be piloted at Chenpao, Pelipper, Zamazenta, Grizzsnarl, Rillaboom, and Ditto. While Felix is going to have Terapagos, Female Indeedee, Iron Crown, Rillaboom, Florges, and Ninetail. And so it looks like one typical standard team from Gina, as she has a lot of defensive utility with Grizzsnarl and Rillaboom. Ooh, something's going on. And then continuing on, and you have the Ditto as well for different they have Ditto to potentially copy a Pokemon that could potentially take advantage of something like that Terapagos or that Iron Crown, as a matter of fact. While for Felix, the win condition is simple. It's definitely the Terapagos. Uh-oh, I just realized it. But other than that, a Florges pick is going to be a little interesting here for Felix. And so it's just like, well, one team's typically standard and will have his win condition set out in stone, but what about Felix? Because Felix has a couple win conditions, being Iron Crown and Indeedee with the Expanding Force combination, but you also have Grassy Surge on the Rillaboom and another set of Pokemon in that Florges. It's just like Felix, it seems, just all over the place, and that could be a pivotal factor for them to get into this game and into the winning column. While for Gina, she can definitely get into the win if she can just manage her sources correctly. Here we go with game number 1 of round number 3 here between Felix and Gina. Felix gonna go ahead and lead the Terapagos and the Florges. What will Gina bring out? It'll be Zamazenta and the Chenpao. So the Terra Ship's gonna turn that Terapagos into a Terrestrial form, and it becomes a bit stronger on its own, sort of ruining the road of defense of all Pokemon in play, and Zamazenta will get a defense boost from that Dauntless Shield, which unfortunately is the once per battle mode. And while Terapagos is in that terrestrialization form, it is allowed to have its ability to become Terra Shell, which will make the first hit it takes as a super effective attack become not very effective as a one-time use, as long as its HP is at full. Both Florges and Terapagos do have access to Calm Mind as an option, and should either of them go for Calm Mind, it will increase their damage output of their attacks like Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam, Terra Starstorm, and Earthquake, it looks like from the team sheet. But for Gina, you know, she has a relatively easy path to go for the offensive option, like that Icicle Rush, which almost knocks out the Florges in one hit, and here comes Body Press. It's going to be suppressed with the matchups with the Terra Shell. It's not going to be very effective, but it will still do half damage. Terapagos goes for the normal type Terra Starstorm into this Chenpao, which will not bring it to focus, as it would have been able to survive anyway, but here's a Moonblast Chenpao, down it goes at a combination blow. And Florges actually reveals a Life Orb there on the recoil, so it is just going to be doing enhanced damage for that move. And now here comes Rillaboom, the unrivaled from Gina. Grassy Surge will come into play here, so we will get a bit of HP recovery at the end of every turn, but both Terapagos and Florges have been shown to underspeed to Zamazenta, so Body Press is still threatening a KO to either one of these Pokemon. And so for this Rillaboom, I think it's a relatively easy choice to go for the Fake Out onto the Florges, because there is no, I mean, there is a way to bypass that, which is Indeedee, the Psychic Terrain, but we don't see that come out because no Pokemon switched out. It will just be the Fake Out into this Florges. It will knock it out, so no more Moonblast coming that way. And we did stay Terapagos for to protect here, so it will be safe for his turn, as Body Press was coming out for the Zamazenta to try to KO the Terapagos on that turn. Here comes a Rillaboom now from Felix. So both teams had a Rillaboom showing out into battle, and from this point, Breakout could be good into the Dominant Center to make sure you could essentially get a Calm Mind up. And if you do get a Calm Mind, it's just like, well, what do you do with it? Because you're still pretty low HP. Woodhammer could still potentially be in range of the KO from this Rillaboom from Gina. And it's just like, Gina has more to speed control. Here goes a Terra actually from Felix. What are they going to do to the Terastallization here? It will be the Stellar Terra from this Galapagos. So not only will it get an HP increase, not only will it get a bit HP recovery, it will also gain more defensive stats, and Terra Starstorm now becomes its own Stellar typing. And it gets a Strad move as well, and Terraform Zero will remove the grassy terrain from play here. And Rillaboom tries to go for a second Fake Out, but unfortunately it only works the first time on the switch in. Body Press, it's still enough to knock out the Terrapagos, even with the boosts it got from the Terastallization into the Stellar type. And down it goes after that little press. And oh, Rillaboom showing Drain Punch actually from Felix. So it is going to be super effective, but because of the defense boost, it is just doing very minimal damage. And Iron Crown is Felix's last Pokemon here. And it will get that booster energy activation on the Quark Drive to activate it, and it will get a special attack boost, which means it's going to at least be hitting a bit harder with that Expanding Force, or the Tachyon Cutter should either or come out. But there's also, again, it's just the defense is as Zenza because it's a +1 defense. It's getting consistent damage on both the Rillaboom and the Iron Crown. It's taking minimal damage from the Drain Punch from the Rillaboom. And I'm just wondering if Felix has enough gas in the tank to get back in this game. And here comes the Terra Ground now. I believe, yeah, Terra Ground from Gina, from her Rillaboom, to make sure. Oh yeah, I didn't know. Oh yeah, I mean, I probably spoke for a Miraidon. And oh my God, big critical hit there. Throwing that Body Press into this Rillaboom, and down it goes in a single hit because of it. This Rillaboom going for that Terra Ground, not gonna matter yet, as here comes Expanding Force with the special attack boosters, not doing a whole lot of damage. Here goes a Terra Ground boosted high horsepower. I guess that's the reason for the Terra Ground. And down goes Rillaboom in one hit. Gina going to go ahead and win game number 1 really quick. All right, that's game number 1 done, with Gina taking a big win with that Zamazenta just staying there doing its absolute best to give Felix all the trouble that they probably shouldn't be dealing with in the first place. But here we are, and that just allows Gina to, like, again, it allows Gina to get the offensive pressure that she wants against a team like this Terrapagos. And especially with all the things Felix has that he needs to be set up, like the Forces with the Calm Mind, Terrapagos with the Calm Mind, Iron Crown with the Expanding Force grassy terrain. I'm gonna look at everything else that could potentially need the setup. Doesn't look at anything else more. It's just the Terrapagos and the Forges. Both of them appear to be Felix's hard hitters. And Gina dealt with both of them pretty easily. And so it's just like, for Felix, how are you gonna, your question should be here, how do you set up your Terrapagos to get into a position where you can do damage with the Terra Starstorm from this little turtle? Because as much as you want to get the damage on to all of Gina's Pokemon, Gina has the speed advantage as a first of all. The second of all, there's a lot of pressure coming up from the Chien-Pao, Rillaboom, and even the Ditto should get set up perfectly. And here we go with game number 2 here between Gina and Felix. And what will we see here from this lead? Terapagos Fortress once again from Felix. Gina once again gonna go with the Chien-Pao, and the Zamazenta no lead changes whatsoever. So we have the same pressure situation as we did from game number 1. And once again, I actually think Heavy Slam might actually be enough to knock out the Fortress in a single hit. So there could be a chance where you just go for the Ice Level Crash onto the Terapagos just to make sure he has a chance to flinch and make sure you don't get that body Calm Mind up. Alternatively, there is a possibility that either of these Pokemon from... Oh wait, actually, no, one of them has to protect, the other one doesn't. So Terapagos can protect, but Fortress is just wide open for an attack, and I believe Heavy Slam is probably the better option, unless you want to go for the double up on the Terapagos to make sure it doesn't get set up with the Calm Mind, and that Fortress just doesn't become a threat later on towards the battle. And we are going to see a Terastallization come out. Turn number 1 here. I believe this is Felix, and it is Terapagos going to forego the Terra Shell to get that stat boost with the Stellar Terra that it becomes thanks to the stat boost it gains from becoming the Stellar type. Here goes a Grow Drop into the Terapagos, and it's okay damage, almost half. Body Press doubles into it. Down goes Terapagos in a single hit once again. The restricted Pokemon falls for Felix, and it does relatively no damage. And Fortress, though, has the chance to go for a free hit with potentially a Dazzling Gleam here. It is coming out. That's doing a lot of damage to the Chien-Pao, but Zamazenta takes it relatively clean. And here comes Felix's next Pokemon, which is the Ninetales, to go ahead and use the Drought ability to set up the Sun, which will power up its Heat Waves, should be able to connect onto the Chien-Pao or the Zamazenta. But both of them, once again, both of them are just faster, meaning that Body Press could just bring out a lot of damage towards that Ninetales because of that Sword of Ruin, lowering the defense of the Ninetales, making sure it's more susceptible to that Body Press, making sure that damage just is extremely well. But also, good Gina. There is a developer in the back waiting for Felix because Ninetales needs to have the sunlight to perform their best Heat Wave, and if the rain's up, then you have weakened that option. But anyway, we're going to see the Terastallization come out from Gina. It is a Zamazenta going into the Water typing to make sure you now resist the Fire type attacks of that Ninetales. Here's another Throat Chop onto this Ninetales, does a whole lot of damage on that singular hit. Here goes the Citrus Berry from this Ninetales to heal up a bit of that health back. What's happening next? Body Press once again doubles the Ninetales. Down goes in a single hit from combination attacks. Here's Moonblast from the Fortress. It gets a critical hit onto the Zamazenta. Down it goes. So the Terra is gone for the Zamazenta from that critical hit for the Fortress. So Felix is down to 2 Pokemon left. That Fortress that's still standing by in battle, and now Gina has a choice to make between her Rillaboom or her Pelipper. Either of them can win the game depending on what Felix has in the back, and I think it could be the Iron Crown once again, because that Iron Crown was definitely one of the win conditions from Felix with that booster energy special attack boost they got from the Pork Drive. But alternatively, if there is a Rillaboom, there could be a motive to go for Fake Out onto the Chien-Pao, and when you do that, you get rid of the Sword of Ruin and you get rid of the Chien-Pao on its field. And Felix sends out the Rillaboom. So it is a Rillaboom battle towards the end of the game. And I believe right now Gina has the better board position here because Icicle Crash threatens to knock out on the Rillaboom, barring any Grassy Slice or Fake Outs. Rillaboom for Gina does have Wood Hammer and it has high horsepower. So unfortunately it won't be hitting anything super effectively on the Rillaboom, but as long as you get rid of the Fortress, that allows the Pelipper to just go ahead and get it for cleanly and get off that Hurricane for later. For now though, Gina going to protect the Chien-Pao. And the Fake Out goes instead towards the Rillaboom, so it is going to flinch on this turn. What did the Fortress go for? The Fortress went for the Dazzling Gleam, which is going to do okay damage here against this Assault Vest Rillaboom. Yeah, it gets it under half, but because of the grassy terrain, it's going to get back up to over half. And in this turn, it just comes down to what this Rillaboom does for Felix. So Jurassic Glide the Champow seems like the obvious play to go for, to make sure you knock out the Champow, get rid of the Sword of Ruin, to make sure the Rillaboom doesn't have as much an easier time to knock out the Fortress with the Wood Hammer. But I already think Wood Hammer's already enough to knock it out from this range, because Fortress is not known for its physical bulk. And Rillaboom has like a lot of damage going for it with that Wood Hammer and the grassy terrain. Sucker Punch comes out into the Rillaboom, does less than half damage against Felix's Rillaboom. Here comes Grassy Glide coming back, knocking out the Champow. Down goes the Sword of Ruin. And what comes out next? Will it be Gina's Rillaboom, or will it be the Fortress from Felix? It's going to be Gina's Rillaboom going first with the Wood Hammer, and it knocks out the Fortress. It becomes a 2-on-1 situation with Gina having the Pokemon in the back, which is that Pelipper, what we've seen on the screen, and Felix is just down to that Rillaboom. And here comes the Pelipper now from Gina. Gonna bring in that Drizzle ability to give it the rain that it needs to hit those Hurricanes 100% accurately. And I believe this is Gina's game to lose. As long as this Hurricane hits the Rillaboom, the game is likely to be over. And Rillaboom, all it can do is just stand by, use that Wood Hammer, because you have no super effective moves, unfortunately, against that Rillaboom. Because some of them run U-turn, some of them run high horsepower, as you see here. While we see the Grassy Glide hit the Pelipper and get hit with a Rocky Helmet as well, Wood Hammer doesn't quite finish the job quite yet for Gina, and Gina's Pelipper gonna secure the game, and that is a 2-0 win for Gina Garavalia. What a win for Gina, and that's a big confidence booster as well, because that Zamazenta really came into play and worked its way to victory against Felix's Terrapagos team. And that's going to be closing out round number 3 for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is just wonderful display of how to play the Zamazenta to the best of your abilities. You know, save your Terra for when you need it the most, get the weather control when you can, and make sure you deal with any other threat that could make sure your Zamazenta wouldn't be in trouble in the first place. And that's how round 3 concludes. We'll be right back after this break for round number 4. You don't want to go anywhere. We have plenty of battles coming in.